What's up? Ask her what she said. Ask her again. ¿Qué pasó, mujer? ¿Qué pasó? She says the same fucking thing. The jungle. It came alive and took him. Bullshit. That's not what she said. Are you telling me Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard? That's my tribute to Carl Weathers. Rest in peace, the great Carl Weathers. Apollo Creed, Dylan from Predator, Chubbs. I mean, really, one of the all-time greats. 76 years old, though. That's a pretty good life. Let's check out Carl Weathers on IMDb. I mean, his body of work is impressive, to say the least. Well, he did look good for his age. I mean, he still worked out. I want to see what his first movie was. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This is the Earl Skakel stream, the Earlverse stream. Let's see what his first movie was. I mean, hello, Catherine. I mean, my God, this guy was in a lot of movies. I mean, it says here, and this is something I didn't know, that his first movie was in 1973, Magnum Force. Now, I've seen Magnum Force 1,000 times. It's one of the great Dirty Harry movies. And it says he was a demonstrator, uncredited. So you learned to, and that's 1973. And I would say that Carl Weathers was a working actor for essentially 52 years. I mean, also in SWAT, which was one of my favorite early TV shows, $6 Million Man, Cannon, McCloud. I mean, Streets of San Francisco, Semi-Tough as Dreamer Tatum, it's kind of an underrated football movie. And of course, probably his big break was in Rocky. Has the villainous Apollo Creed. I will. It's going to take me a minute for the vocal cords to warm up. Hit the like button if you have not done so already. I mean, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I didn't know he was in that. Military Police. I mean, that movie's kind of long, so I could see him. Death Hunt was a great Charles Bronson movie. I mean, of course, all the Rocky movies. I'm not really. I think he was in the Defiant ones with Robert Urich, which is funny because I've been on a real Vegas kick. Hold on, I got to charge my phone real fast. Unprofessional, to say the least. I mean, of course, Predator, Action Jackson. I always kind of felt bad that Action Jackson didn't do better because that was kind of his shot to carry a movie. Of course, he was with his slowest barking right now. and he was with his Predator castmate Bill Duke. That's a good movie. Robert Davi's in that. Craig T. Nelson. I think Sharon Stone. Um, but it just, it didn't. I don't know. It didn't bomb. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning. Good afternoon, wherever you are from. Um, sorry, I'm just getting a text from my buddy wanting to talk about the Vince McMahon allegations. Yeeks. And then I mean, his body of work is like a Chicago Fire, Chicago PD. I mean, he was in the Dick Wolf, world, and then 9 episodes of The Mandalorian. So he kind of was experiencing uh, a resurgence with younger fans who, they might have known him from Rocky, but he was a bounty hunter in The Mandalorian turned, uh, I guess, government agent. I have not quite yet um, wrapped myself into the Mandalorian world. The Law and Order Special Victims Unit, Chicago Justice, which I think he played the DA. I like that show. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Um, Ben Jones, probably good evening for you. And the Aussie, I mean, his body of work is just Arrested Development, Psych. It was a good TV show. Brothers, ER, The Comebacks, The Shield. I remember him. I think he was Vic Mackey's old partner. Um, and did a fair amount of voiceover work. Little Nicky, uh, Assault on Death Mountain, Assault on Devil's Island. I don't know what those are. I guess it's TV movies. Of course, Happy Gilmore. I mean, that is a. Um, and he was in the Pointer Sisters video. He turned me out. Um, I mean, just you know, I'm of that age now where actors that I like and grew up watching are dying. Because if I'm 55, they got to be in their 70s and 80s. Gene Hackman is, I believe, 94. He just had his 94th birthday. So even if you take a look at the cast of the original movie Rocky, um, I mean, a lot of that cast is dead. You've got Burt Young, who played Paulie. He's dead. Burgess Meredith, he's dead. Uh, Apollo Creed's dead. Tony Burton, who played Apollo's trainer, he's dead. Um, I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure that all of Rocky's corner. I mean, the Cut Man, Al Savani. That's right. I know the guy's actual name. He was old in Rocky, so I'll assume he's dead. Um, I mean, but yet Frank Stallone lives on. So there you go. I mean, I will say I did see Sylvester Stallone's tribute video yesterday, and you could tell he was sad, but I don't know. I always thought the Terry Crews part in The Expendables should have gone to Apollo Creed. I mean, I know Terry Crews is a popular actor, but it's not like he was known for action movies or shit. So, what age am I hoping for, Earl? As long as I can live and be pain free, and um, I don't really have a set. Well, I want to live to 80, and then what happens when I? See, I think it's dangerous when you do that. When you set an age you want to live to. I want to live till 80. Then you hit 80 and you're feeling good, and you're like, all right, well, I hit my goal. Fuck it. And then you start drinking or doing whatever. So I don't have an age that I want to hit. I mean, my for 55, I feel really good. Um, I mean, I'm probably the oldest guy in my yoga class, and I'm not gonna lie and say I hang. Why is that over there? Isn't it over there? Alright. So, alright, well, oh, here we go. I'm not gonna say I'm the best guy in my class because 'cause I'm probably the worst guy in my class, but I do enjoy, the mental benefits of it, and, so I don't know. I don't, I my goal in life is to wake up tomorrow morning. Uh, I'm not gonna lie to you, Earth sucks. In my heyday of lifting, which probably peaked at around 2018, I would say I could do 20 good ones. Not perfect form, but good form, and then depending on my caffeine consumption, I could do maybe another 10, but they were pretty bad form. Now I can't do one because I really got into yoga. So I didn't lift weights for like, I don't know, 3 to 4 years. And I just recently started lifting and it's tougher for me. I'm not gonna lie. I can't do one right now. And I'm in great shape, but I think the toughest exercises you can do are body weight. Like it doesn't make a lot of sense, but you can bench press like uh, you know, whatever you can bench press. Like I could still do 225 like twice, which isn't that impressive to be frank. Um it's sorry, my chair is a little wonky right now. Um when you see the NFL combine and you have players doing 225 like 30, 40. I think one guy did it either last year or the year before, like 48 uh, times or something crazy. 38 times. I mean, that's crazy to me. Gavin House, I do like your Holy Diver Dio reference. Um, I'm reading the chats and whatnot out of order. Um, yeah, well, I mean, I just did. If you go on my YouTube, well, I guess you're on my YouTube page, but after this stream is over, we'll do like an hour. My flagship stream, as you know, is Sunday nights. We broke all kinds of records last Sunday. I think we had 117 likes, and I think at its peak, 70 people in the chat. Let's try and break that tomorrow. Um, but dips I can do. Although I have I broke my collarbone in high school, and collarbone is weird. You can't really set it like a broken arm. It just has to heal on its own. So, and it's very painful. Like you can't sleep because you can't. I sleep on my stomach, I guess, more than I do my back. So, even back when I was in high school, so um, that's been acting up a little bit ever since. If you look at my shorts, I put 200-pound dumbbells. I did it twice about a month ago. So, but I've never really done like a ton of push-ups. Like I would say I could probably do 40 push-ups in good form. Maybe 50 if you let me like go hog wild on the form. Yes, hockey. My golf skills actually helped me with hockey, to be honest with you. Um, and dips I can do fairly easy. I mean, I don't know how many dips I can do. Probably 15 to 20. Um, so uh, hockey's the best. I had a friend of mine eating pizza the other night. He did the Stallone Cobra, where he cut it with scissors. By the way, I have looked into doing a live stream from the hotel that was Stallone's apartment in Cobra. It's actually a hotel in Venice, penthouse number 7. Penthouse number 7. Of course, I don't really have the need to um, rent or stay at a hotel in Los Angeles, but for that particular episode, which, who knows when or where or when it will be, we might have to get the super chat party going because I've been getting a lot of requests to do a live table read of the movie Cobra from penthouse number 7 at the Venice Hotel. I forget the name of it, but you know, that's in the works. Maybe we can do it on the anniversary of Cobra being released, which I'm going to assume that was a summer movie. Usually in the mid '80s they would um, release the big action movies, uh, maybe in May or early June. So we have not talked, Nick, about the Rock Roman. I mean, poor Cody Rhodes. That's why I said he should have won at WrestleMania in Los Angeles when I was in attendance, sitting with the John Cena kids and whatnot. Not his actual kids, but the special needs kids. I probably look like a pedophile. I'm surprised I didn't get more spots that week. Um, Earth sucks. Worst hockey injury I've ever witnessed at the rink. Um, hmm. I mean, and well, ironically, it was on a Saturday, and we used to play ball hockey, deck hockey, as you kiddies would say, and we would what was it? Elm Street Grade School, which is in Beverly Hills. If you want to Google Earth this for you freakers, it's on Elm and Wilshire in Beverly Hills. Actually, it's a block below Wilshire. And we played. They had a fenced-in basketball court. Hello, everyone. Not sure, Grimace. Thank you, Easy. Um, and they had 3 basketball courts in this court going north-south with the poles and everything, and we would play east-west. And, it was full contact ball hockey. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, Pat Brisson used to play with us. Now, Pat Brisson is Sidney Crosby's agent, Luke Robitaille's agent, probably the biggest agent. I think he's Connor Bedard's agent. Uh, and he played, I think, in the Montreal Canadiens farm system. Um, I believe the year they won the cup in '86, he was going to be the call up to play, but Claude Lemieux got the call up instead. So I think it worked out um, for the Canadians. And then he would bring his friend, who I believe wasn't as good as he was, but still pretty good, Stéphane Desjardins. Not Eric Desjardins, but Stéphane Desjardins. Good afternoon, Dominic. And so they played like once with us, and they were like, "This is the craziest fucking thing we've ever seen." I mean, it was a full contact. It was octagon hockey. So, and it was a real wild group of guys, just doctors, lawyers, the LA Kings stick boy, who later became is a huge manager in the business. Um, and one day, and we had to climb probably I don't know if I'd say it was a 20-foot fence, but at least a 15-foot chain linked fence. And I forget how he did it, but this kid broke his ankle and the bone was sticking out of his ankle. It was the fucking grossest thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you could see the bone. It was like a movie. Like, do you ever see the movie Bloodsport? That one guy who Chong Li kicked his kneecap, and so you could see his shin bone sticking out through his leg. That's what it looked like. And we were all panicked because there was no way we could. I mean, we had to climb a 15-foot fence, and I don't remember him being that big of a guy, but he was big enough where there's no way. Okay, USA. Okay, USA. That's Donald Gibb, Notre Dame High alumni with so luckily for us, one of the guys, I'll give him a plug, Chester Griffith was a doctor, medical doctor. I think he was a plastic surgeon. So he did some wacky maneuver with the clothes, and then someone got a bolt cutter, and we cut through the fence. And that's probably the worst injury I've ever seen. Um, the worst injury I ever got playing hockey, I would say I never really got that hurt playing hockey. And I was crazy. I played ice hockey with no helmet. Like, we would just play pickup hockey on Sunday nights at the Kings practice rink. It was a real ragtag group of freaks, who I've spoken about before, uh, O.J. Simpson's mailman, Rocky George, the guitar player from Suicidal Tendencies, um, I think Chris Chelios's brother, and sometimes Robitaille would get out there and fuck around with us. We basically broke into the rink every Sunday night. Someone had the keys. It might have even been OJ's mailman, and you know, someone would break into the DJ booth, so we'd like play hockey to like Metallica, and um, it was a fun time. But one night in front of the net, because I was never really a great skater, I tripped with this guy. And keep in mind, I had no helmet on. And his skate blade came so close to my face that I could literally feel the wind of the skate passing by like my eye. And I mean, literally, my life could have changed. You know, I mean, I'm who knows? I mean, I'm incredibly lucky. I've always been lucky with injuries in hockey. I think one of the last few years I played ball hockey, right around, it was like 20, maybe late 2013, 2014. I went to block a guy's shot, and so I put my stick out like lengthwise, and his stick rode up my stick and hit me right here. So I looked like I had herpes because I had this massive fat lip. Like it was like it looked like I had plastic surgery to get like lip injections. but I'm telling you, another literally quarter inch that way, who knows how many teeth I would have been missing. So I was very bleeding like a maniac. So I've been very lucky in that regard. I have lived a great life, Dominic said. Um, Not much I would change about it. I mean, the way I see people talking about the worst wrestling injury, absolutely Sid Vicious. And I think the guy, was it Marty Jannetty broke his neck? Or no, it was either Marty Jannetty or Vader, I think, broke someone's neck, and they still did the finishing move, not knowing that they had a broken neck. Uh, Toughest thing I've ever seen in wrestling was when Sting broke Rick Rude's back, I think in '94 in Japan, and, the adrenaline is probably so much that Rick Rude didn't know his back was broken, and Sting body slammed him again, and Rick Rude finished the match with a broken back. Um, my favorite New York Ranger was the great Barry Beck, who, you have to be a fan of a certain age to appreciate Barry Bubba Beck. But he was really the first person who got me into hockey, because I remember the Rangers traded for him, Colorado Rockies, a 5-for-1 deal. I'm like, "Oh, this guy's gotta be like, Jesus, they just traded 5 guys for him." You didn't really see trades like that in hockey, and, he was so much bigger than everyone. If he wasn't I think him, Clark Gillies, and maybe Ben Wilson were the biggest players in the league, so not very many bigger than him, but he was just dominating. He could shoot, he could score, he could fight. Um, he never really had big penalty minutes, but if you were a great fighter back then, um, you didn't have to fight. People were scared. So, but he didn't wear a helmet for a long time, and then it was sad when the Kings got him. I think in like '87, I was all excited, but like he was wearing a helmet. He was a shell of himself ever since the Pat Flatley hit. I think in '84, he was just never the same. And he had had bad knees since junior hockey, so um, but still, I talk to him on Facebook every now and then. As much as I hate social media, it is pretty cool that I can talk to my favorite hockey player. I think he lives in Korea now. He teaches hockey in overseas. Yeah, my collarbone sticks out a little bit, but um, and it's probably in beat up condition. Just when I was lifting real heavy weights, at least heavy weights for me, back in the '90s. I mean, my chest and collarbone was pretty thrashed. I mean, now I lift more just to look good for the broads. Um, well, I think that's crazy, Gavin. Yeah, Kurt Angle. He had some serious neck issues. No, I've never seen any of those bands or sucks. Uh, yeah, I mean Kurt Angle. I saw him at WrestleMania. I think it was 18 or 21 at Staples Center, which is now crypto.com. Um, I don't know if you guys can hear the kids yelling, sorry. Um, and he was in pretty bad shape back then. This was maybe early 2000s. Um, yeah, I'm a what I like to call a gay metal fan, Poison, Rat, Bon Jovi, Quiet Riot, um, 80s, the 80s. I guess what you would call a cock rock. So, it's not for everyone. I just wanna be entertained. Um, I mean, Flav Sava, that's, Tyler, the Creator treated me right, beyond right. If you of course, no one's gonna do this, but, I've probably done probably at least 1,000 hours of podcasts and radio interviews, not many TV interviews, certainly done a lot of morning radio when I used to do the road and whatnot, and, you won't find 1 second of me ever bad-mouthing Tyler, the Creator, because he treated me nice. Just, "Please, thank you," and, even when he wasn't pleased with what I was doing, because the voiceover world is very intricate, like, it's all about the tone and the slightest inflection of your voice. They want what they want. He would still be like, "Hey, man, Earl, that was really good, but can you do it this way? Because we need this." And yeah, no problem. Um, and like there was one day where, in the voiceover studio, you're in, I mean, it's millions of dollars of equipment. I mean, the wires are probably $200 each. The microphones are all, 10,000 and up. I mean, they're beyond high end. Um, so when you say any word with the word P in it, sometimes your P can pop. Now, this mic, which I love, the blue mic, the Yeti mic, it's not high end, but if I say the word pancake, it might not pick up the pancake, but these mics do. And there was a scene where I think I had to say the word pussy to my son, Phil Lamar, who, if you know who Phil Lamar is, he's like a voiceover legend. I mean, he's been in every cartoon and animated series you've ever watched. So it's weird that I was the lead and he was, I guess we were co-leads, but like I should probably not. I didn't realize how lucky I was to be a co-lead on a cartoon with him. Um, I mean, he was in Pulp Fiction. Like, I mean, he's the real deal. And so I was popping my P. I was not saying pussy. Like now I can kind of unpuck my lips and say it. Uh, yes, I was just getting to that, Spurg. So Phil, and no one was mad at me. I mean, it happens. He gives me a pencil, and in my head, I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Put the pencil about, I don't know, halfway between the mic and your mouth, and the eraser tip will mute the popping sound." And I thought, "Okay." And so I did it the first time, but basically the mic's right here, uh, and it worked the first take. So that's when I was alerted to the greatness of Phil Lamar. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Yeah, you wouldn't think that that would do anything. I literally a 10-cent pencil is saving me in this $1,000,000 studio. Um, I mean, Spurga. Um, oh, you're talking to Kip. Yeah, I mean, so if you look up, gee, I'm sorry, I love voiceover talk. Oh, it's all good, all good. I loved doing the jellies. I mean, it was a pro. It was the best experience. So getting back to Flav Sava's, I mean, Phil Lamar was great. Really, the whole Jellies crew. Patty, the producer, she's the one who hooked me up with the voiceover agent. She just looks at me one day and goes, "You're great. You have an agent, right?" I'm like, "No." She was like, "How'd you get this gig?" I'm like, "Tyler saw me at the Comedy Store." And within 20 minutes, I was auditioning for the #1 voiceover agency in the world. and I got it. So that's probably my highlight in terms of a group of people treating me well. And I think and I don't want to bore the people who has not treated me well, but it involves pretty much everyone on Roast Battle, the network, the producers, everyone but Brian Moses, who treated me nice. Um, it was a horrible experience, and it didn't have to be. There was enough pie for everyone to eat. Like, do you think Tyler the Creator had to be nice to me? Of course he didn't. He could have just been show up, do your lines, and get out. But he was um, incredibly nice. So, I hope to work. I mean, Carl Jones, I think he created the Boondocks. Like, just to be able to work with Carl Jones and Phil Lamar. I mean, you have voiceover actors who um, would cream in their pants to do that. So I was incredibly lucky to be in that experience for a couple years. And of course, people still ask me, uh, is the Jellies canceled? Is it coming back? I mean, it's probably not coming back, but we were never canceled. The ratings were good. Cartoon ratings are kind of weird because they never draw like massive ratings because it's a niche programming. Um, but it's, just Tyler the Creator was, he's so successful at everything he does that I think he gets bored. Like he walked away before the Jellies, he walked away from the Loiter Squad on Adult Swim. That was a hit. And then I think he did his music, and then he came back. I want to do a cartoon now. We did 3 seasons. First season's just on his phone app. The next two are on Adult Swim. And then I want to do something else now. I want to do a movie. I want to headline Coachella. I want to do this. I want to have Camp Flognog, which is his big outdoor concert and at Dodger Stadium once a year. I mean, he sells out Dodger Stadium. So, but you can watch it on Adult Swim, Max, which used to be HBO Max, and the Cartoon Network. So, and I guess you could watch it on YouTube. Um, you know, um, and I think some hardcore fans of Tyler's tried to get it another season, but um, it's probably not going to happen. But he's so crazy in that regard. I could see him this year going, "Hey, let's do the Jellies again. I want to do it again." And we do another season. It's a hit. I want to do music this year. So, I mean, I was a little disappointed. Not necessarily. I mean, nothing with Tyler and Lionel, Lionel Boyce, who was the main producer with Carl Jones on the Jellies. He just won an Emmy for The Bear on Hulu. So, um, you know, that probably lessens the likelihood of the Jellies ever coming back. I mean, selfishly, I would love it to because I think it could have been like the Black South Park, which would have been huge for me. Like if we did Comic Con and like I think the first season of the Jellies, Tyler did the Comic Con about the Jellies, but that would have been gigantic with me to be in front of thousands of people and have the show like be a hit or whatever, popular with his fan base. I could play any comedy club in the country. Um, well, the first I have been to the observatory. Yes, I think it wasn't the first scene. It might have been the second scene where Schwarzenegger walks up to Inappropriate Earl alumni Brian E. Thompson and Bill Paxton, and I believe Comedy Store paid regular Steve Kravitz, and he takes their clothes, kills them, I think. Um, I don't watch other podcasts, Chris Mack. Um, that is ironic. Earth sucks. Um, yeah, I mean, Spur. Anything's possible in the business. But I think with each month that goes by, the likelihood of a Jellies reunion or whatever is lower. Um, but Tyler is, so avant-garde in his thinking that I could see it happening, to be honest with you. But we'll see. I mean, I would love for it to happen. Um, because that's good for me to be the lead on a cartoon. It's just, it's my voice is heard by a lot of people who can book me for future stuff. Uh, well, I'm trying AJS. I mean, it's not easy. I mean, I've said this before, but voiceover, especially in my section, um, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Um, Pat Dixon's great. Check out his stream. I believe Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Um, I'm a frequent guest on it, but I'm in the booming deep baritone category. So there's not a lot of deep voice actors in Hollywood. So I'm really going up against celebrities. I constantly go up against, say, Dylan McDermott, Rob Riggle, James Earl Jones. Now, of course, James Earl Jones doesn't audition. He gets offered the part. Hey, would you like to be this? And, he probably turns down more gigs than he does. I mean, it's Darth Vader, for God's sakes. But, I have to hope all those guys are busy filming other things. And then I go up against maybe 5 guys like me who are all working voiceover actors. I also go up against Billy Brown, who was August Marks in Sons of Anarchy. He's like a black Clint Eastwood. He does the Few the Proud, the Marines commercial. Go up against the Arby's guy, Arby's, we've got the meats. Um, yes, I do, even though I don't talk about the Dabbleverse. I welcome Dabbleverse listeners in here. I like to, I mean, I believe Beloved Chatter is in here frequently. Pam I Am, Gina Babina, many others. Saint Ranger. I think Vaping Dago has done a drive by. Mama. Um, and thank you. Someone I forgot. Someone said a few questions ago or whatever. They enjoyed me on the Pork Report, which was formerly Beach Cops. I had a good time. I think that episode is out Monday, if I'm not mistaken. I was also on Kim Congdon's podcast. I believe it's called Slappy Happy, which is out. Had a great time with Kim. Yes, I leave the dabble at the door. This is an alternative, if you will, to the dabble, we'll say. Phil Lamar was on Mad TV. I don't believe Brock Lee comes in here, but he's welcome. Yes, I don't. People ask me all the time what the beef is with Danish and O'Neill. I keep out of it. I like both. I like DeWitt. Um, so I got enough drama in my world. I can't take on someone else's. Well, I do think the dabble boom is waning. I mean, I just think that, and I don't like to talk about it, but I'll talk about it in this um, parlance. Yes, I do deserve more viewers. Oh shit, Leo Gunn just gifted 5 Earl Skakel memberships. So to those of you who got um, a free membership via Leo Gunn, please thank him very much. Um, and thank you all for the support of the super chats and the memberships. And I believe now my videos are monetized. So with ads. So I hope they're not too annoying. Um, you came here to get the latest on Gaza. Like, well, we're bombing, we're fighting back. So, uh, okay, thank you. But I thought it was called Slappy Happy or something. Um, but I love Kim. Like she keeps it real. So I I get along with people who aren't full of shit. And thank you, Joey, for saying I deserve more views or likes or whatever. I've only really been streaming. I've only been monetized, I think, for 3 weeks. This is my third week. So um I'm listen, I'd love to have hundreds of people in here right now, but um for me it's a slow build. I'm not really streaming for the money like others. And there's nothing wrong with streaming for money. I mean, if I had, what Kevin Brennan has, 1,000 people, Shuley has 1,000 people, Melton has, probably 500 to 600, Chad's got a couple hundred, Carl, I don't know how many he has, but he has a lot. Um, I get it. Uh, and I realized that I could, if I was in the dabble world and roasted people and talked shit, that I could probably triple my following in terms of uh, super chatters and all that. But it's just not my thing, man. I don't do the online roasting. If you want me to talk shit, you got to be in the room with me. It's a little tougher that way, I find. But it's all good. Everyone's got their lane, and I'm just trying to make this a friendly platform for us to all come in and talk hockey, and wrestling, and metal and all that shit. Oh shit, Leo Gunn, $5. I heard your favorite cock rock '80s bands before, but what about the Maidens, Priest, and Motorheads of the world? Leo Gunn, $5. Thank you, Leo Gunn. And you notice we're 48 minutes in. I haven't once asked for money because that's how I do it. My main goal with this stream is to increase my awareness. So I don't do the road a lot, but when I do the road, um, you guys want to come see me. Um, I've seen Iron Maiden before in concert a couple times. Very good. I'm a big Priest fan. Um, and Motorhead, I used to date one half of their management team. So I've seen Motorhead way more than I would have if I wasn't dating one of their managers. I've taken Lemmy to the dentist several times. I've not cleaned Lemmy's apartment because that would be physically impossible for one person. Um, so I'm very, I guess you'd say, close to Lemmy in that regard. Last time I saw him right before he died was at Sunset Oil on San Vicente and Sunset. And it was really sad. Like he looked at me and it was just sad. Like, he recognized me, but he didn't, and I didn't even say hello to him. Like, it was kind of a bummer. Uh, but, he was an awesome dude, and, you talk about no bullshit. Um, Lemmy was no bullshit. Tigger 747474 499. Earl, who's the biggest hold on, I hit the wrong button there. Earl, who's the biggest hack? Schultz, Santino, or Hinchcliffe? I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is gonna sound like I'm not answering your question, Tigger. Uh, I don't know because I don't watch other people do comedy. I want to do it. I don't watch stand up. Um, Now you think I've known Hinchcliffe we met 2009, maybe a little after that. Or 2000, I'll say 2011, just in case I'm off. So that's 13 years. I've never watched him do stand up because I just don't watch. And I had to follow him one night in the main room, and I heard laughter, so I can't say he wasn't doing well. I couldn't tell you one joke he did. I was waiting for my name to be called. So, and you think, wait a minute, Earl, you've never seen Santino do stand up? You were in I'm Dying up here with him for 2 years. You've known him. I mean, I've known Santino longer than I've known Hinchcliffe. I've never once seen him do stand up. Like tonight, I'll be at the Comedy Store, and my set. I'm closing out the main room, so my set is I think 12:15. I get there about 11:45. I walk around, the sound guy, Danny, say, "Hey, you're next." And I go in the green room. I don't watch anyone go up because I don't want to hear someone do a joke and then I'm like, I have a joke that's similar. I don't want to do that. I do my jokes. And like, if someone did a joke similar to that before me, let's see who had the better joke. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of. And I've never, Schultz could be in front of me, I wouldn't know what he looked like. I mean, I've heard the name, but, you know, I don't know Tigger, and that's not me, like, not wanting to talk shit or anything, because my stand-up opinions are very black and white. Like, if you asked me that question about roast battle, I could tell you, like, who's the best, who's the worst, and whatnot, because I was basically forced to watch the battles because I was on the show. Um, but with comedy, I'm the farthest point from the stage when I'm not on the stage. Yes, let me read a few of these. See, I read some free questions too. I'm not panhandling here. Lemmy was very smart, very quiet. Actually, you wouldn't think the singer from Motorhead would be quiet, but he spoke so softly that I had trouble hearing him sometimes. Yeah, I never liked King Diamond, to be honest with you. Um, Santino equals hand job. I'm not sure what that means. Who's got the faker? See, I don't know Schultz. I've heard Bert laugh, so I guess I'll say Bert. Earl, have you ever had Salvadorian food? I have not. I will be in Vegas for Hackverse, though. I'm just going for the stand up. I probably won't do any of the podcasts because I have a feeling those are going to be shitting on who's not there, and that just ain't my jam. Well, I don't know if he ever entered comedy. Uh, Brendan Schaub, that is. Did you meet Carl Weathers? My friend Kristen is his neighbor, Ben. So she was always trying to get him on my podcast, but I was too scared. I was like, I don't. If he's a dick, I like too many of his movies, so I don't want to meet him. Um, Easy 123. Welcome to Bonzo Berry. And I think if the Bonzo Berry level, if you're ever in town, the Los Angeles area, the West Hollywood area, the Beverly Hills area, hell, if you're rich and you're staying at the Shutters Hotel in Santa Monica, the Bonzo Berry level. I feel like I'm doing a commercial. Uh, you get taken care of at the Comedy Store, free of charge. Now, I can't get you free drinks. They're cracking down on that, but I can get you a free ticket and, um, I can show you around. I can give you the tour. Um, uh, yeah, I mean, I just Leo. I've never really given King Diamond a chance. It's just that music's too hard for me. I mean, I love Motorhead, ironically enough, because I had to see them. I probably been to literally 50 to 100 Motorhead shows. I mean, so many I lost track, to be frank. Um, and I do like some, like my favorite Motorhead songs, "Born to Raise Hell." I love the live version they do with Doro Pesh and Whitfield Crane. I also like the video with Whitfield Crane and Ice-T. You can tell Ice-T was a Motorhead fan, a Lemmy fan. Maybe he wasn't a Motorhead fan, but he did a good job. Earth sucks. I think a good name for Earl Special would be Finishing Move or the Finisher. I like I might pay a tribute to Kenny Omega and call it the Cleaner. Tigger 747474 499. Thank you very much, Tigger. I appreciate it. Earl, in that case, who's the biggest fraud off the stage? Hinchcliffe or Santino? F. Shuley. Uh, I mean, I don't really talk to Tony anymore. Um, we had I guess you would say, a falling out or whatever over a debate about Jeff Ross. I think you could guess what side I'm on. But him and Tony are friends. Santino's always been cool to me, and has is Shuley. I mean, Tigger, I'm sensing you don't like Hinchcliffe. It's just based on your two super chats. Um, we used to be good friends, comedy friends, but I mean, we're still friends, I guess, but we don't talk anymore. I'm not like the biggest fan of Kill Tony. Which is weird because you think, well, wait a minute, you came from Roast Battle. But I'm really not a fan of Roast Battle anymore. So, I mean, I hope it goes on forever for Moses' sake. But, like, um, I just look at Kill Tony as, like, bullying open micers. I don't find it, um, and the few who can fire back at Tony don't really because they want to get on the show, and especially now it is big. You got to give it that. I mean, I think I was on one of the first Kill Tonys as the Iron Patriot when that guy left, and I mean, there were no more than 30 people in the belly room, comics included. I don't think there was any audience in terms of like paid audience members. Um, and now it's playing like arenas or something. So, I mean, I get why it's popular, to be honest with you. I mean, people love that kind of humor. It's like Kill Tony's like the new Gong Show. So, and you can get a following from it. So, but the problem is, a lot of these people who do Kill Tony and are popular on it, they don't have 10 minutes, and now they're being asked to headline. I don't drink. I've never had a drink, Gavin. Um, I know. Well, we're talking about the vaccine. Well, I mean, Earth sucks. I mean, maybe I will do call it the finisher. Are we allowed in the Comedy Store again? Yeah, you can go in the Comedy Store. Let's see. Yeah. I think Ozzy paid Lemmy a lot of money for that. I wish who well, Kongzilla. I mean, I wish everyone. I like Vanilla Ice. I wish everyone well. I mean, like I said, I'm like Patrick Swayze in Roadhouse. I'm nice to you until you give me a reason to not be nice. I like Born to Raise Hell. I like Eat the Rich. I like Motorhead's cover of God Save the Queen. Hinchcliffe was on the Secret Shit talking show to close out Skankfest, where they roasted any comedian the audience yelled out. But see, that's not impressive to me, to be honest with you. Like, roast them when they're on stage with you. Like, you guys could ask me to roast, I don't know who you could name any comic. I could do it. Probably get tons of super chat money and what, but I don't super chat. I don't super chat people. Uh, I I don't talk shit about people unless they're in the room. I mean, I did go after Piven a little bit online, but I went up to roast battle the night he was up there, and he was the worst. He was completely clueless. Good evening, good evening, good evening. SC vid show. Uh, the forum and I know. I mean, listen, I'm not against the show. I mean, I love Redban. He's awesome. But I don't really see the appeal of it. Like, you're shitting on comics who are like a year in, 2 years in. That's not a challenge. You want to shit on comics, shit on Bill Burr when he's on the panel. See how that goes. Shit on Rogan, which would never happen because too many people are up Joe's ass, but shit on Joe, see how that goes. Shit on me when I'm in the room, you know, you know, see how that goes. Earl, I have met Jay Leno once or twice, very quick. Um, Leo Gunn, $5. Motorhead were by far the loudest band I've ever seen live. I mean, painfully loud. And it was like getting hit in the head with a sledgehammer. To show you how loud Motorhead plays, I'll never forget this show. It was across the street at the Comedy Store. We all went over there. It was Motorhead. I think it was Megadeth and Motorhead, if I'm not mistaken. And Slash went on stage to play Born to Raise Hell. Born to raise hell, born to raise hell. We know how to do it, and we do it real well. I don't know the lyrics. I've heard that song so many times live. I feel like I do know the lyrics. And Slash got off the stage. I think he was supposed to do another song. He's like, I can't. It's too loud. So when Slash is saying this is too loud, that's how loud Motorhead plays. Don Barris is good. I will see him tonight. Well, listen, I'm not trying to tell you to like or not like Kill Tony. I'm just saying, um, I don't. It's like T-ball. Like these young open micers are like set up for Tony and his famous comedy friends to shit on, and like I understand why it's popular. It's the Gong Show, but I don't find it. Like I was never funny on Kill Tony because I would actually try and give advice, and the crowd would be looking at me like, "Well, that's not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to like help this person." Because when I was at their level, no one helped me. So, but I mean, listen, I will give Tony and Red Band this: when you sign up to do Kill Tony, you know what you're signing up for. You're not really signing up for the comedy advice. You're signing up to get more followers. And the danger in that is you do get them, but then you don't have 10 minutes of material, and some club's going to headline you. And now I don't care whether someone does well or bad. It doesn't affect me, but I don't think they realize long term it might not be the best show for them. Tigger 747474 499. I don't like hacks or fake tough guys, hence my distaste for Earl. Oh, you don't like me? Hinchcliffe, Santino, Shirley, Schultz, and my love of KB, Dixon, and Earl. Oh, you're just saying you don't like hacks. Um, I mean, and this is probably my hockey background, Tigger. Whereas if someone slashed me, I slash him back. Um, if someone mouthed off to me, I was on him the whole game. I never let up. And sometimes I'd fuck with him. Like I remember one time, this is a funny hockey story. This guy gave me a slew foot. Now, I don't want to turn this into a hockey chat, By the way, Nikita Kucherov last night in the skills competition, that was horrible. I mean, act like you give a shit. There's kids and fans of yours watching you, Momo. Um, I think Nikita Kucherov went to the Peter Klima Pierre-Luc Dubois School of Not Caring. Um, so I don't, I just, so this guy gives me a slew foot, and a slew foot's the most dangerous play in hockey. It's basically when a guy is in front of you, so you can read the back of his jersey, and you either hard or um, uh, it's even more dangerous when you do it lightly. You kind of kick the back of his knee out, and you just fall back. Like it's like if this is a guy's knee, you're behind him, and you kind of just give him a nudge, and his knee will either straighten up or crumble like that, and you fall back. And I hit my head, and I probably had a concussion, to be honest with you. That fucking bastard, and I didn't get him back that game. I didn't get him back the second game. And, about 2 years later, we went into the corners, and I slashed him so fucking hard in the back of the calf. And he's like, "Earl, what the fuck, man?" I'm like, "We're even now. Remember the slew foot from 2 years ago? I did." And he kinda got what I was saying. So, and that's what I initially liked about Roast Battle was, you wanted to talk shit about someone, you can, but they're gonna be on stage with you. And not only do you get to say something, they get to say something back to you. So Kongzilla, you're saying I was in the zone about what? No, I think he's talking about Andro, Andrew Schultz. So I mean, Motorhead is next level in terms of. I like the Sandman. Sorry, it's hard to read all these questions because they all look the same to me. My vision is so bad. I did order new glasses; they're coming, but that's. I mean, yes, I like getting super chats because they're easier to read. And that's not me claiming I can't read. I just, they're highlighted, so they're easier to read. Um, Someone lets him in. Earl gives the reach around. I don't know what you're talking about. Easy. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Hopefully, Dante the Comics Comedy Fantasy Camp goes well so he can get on JRE. I mean, Dante's out of control. To put his name above Leno and Adam Carolla, I mean, that's a fantasy. Uh, Dio. I'm friends with his wife, Wendy. Um, well, I mean, that AJS was, I mean, it doesn't look good. I can't say he didn't mean, I don't think he meant to kill him, but he meant to do what he did. And it just, like I said, I don't know if you were listening earlier in the chat. I, my face was almost cut in half by a man's skate blade. He didn't mean to do it, but like I said, I felt the wind of the skate going by my face. So, I mean, boy, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest with you. I mean, to people who don't play hockey, you don't realize those skate blades are like Ginsu knives. I mean, they are, and they're sharpened after every period. So, I mean, not that a dull skate couldn't do damage, but a skate blade that's sharpened 3 times a game is beyond. It's like the knife the Indian and Predator had. It's pretty bad. Snow caps, raisinets, or goobers. I mean, if you're putting a gun to my head, nothing beats chocolate covered raisins. So I'm gonna go raisinets. No NHL player has died. I mean, Clint Malarchuk, the Buffalo Sabres goalie, almost died. Um, it's a pretty brutal fucking uh, video to watch. It's still on YouTube. I think Richard Zednick had a very scary on ice incident. Um, we would, well, if you look at what was it, Borgie Salming from the Toronto Maple Leafs. He played a little bit for the Detroit Red Wings, but he'll always be Kong Silla. This is the only time I'll ever ask for money. I can't say that name without getting paid for it. Well, I mean, it is. I mean, even NHL players have the greatest balance in the world, but like, uh, yeah, I mean, the Sabres trainer was. I mean, literally, that was life and death. Like, if he didn't know what he was doing, Clint Malarchuk dies on the ice. Um, Now there, I'm just kidding. Kong, you don't have to. That's my. I have several rules in the my stream. Uh, all Dabbleverse questions are $30 and up, which ensures that they won't be asked. And then it's a new rule. Any Jeff Ross questions or mentions $10 and up. So um, make it count. I'm just kidding. Uh, well, I don't think, Gavin, that would make ice hockey better. But I will say the NHL absolutely has the worst all-star. Well, I like to keep it positive in here. But, Tigger can ask who, like I feel bad for Tigger and thank you for your tipping. Let me thank the tippers while I mention tipping. Um, Thank you, Leo Gunn, for gifting memberships and several super chats. Thank you very much, Tigger, for several super chats. I appreciate it. Easy123 for becoming a Bonzo Berry level, and Leo Gunn for your another super chat. I appreciate it. Um, you guys are good to me. Hopefully, you uh, enjoy the stream. I know some of the hockey talk and pro wrestling talk can get a little boring for you people because you're not, you're probably in here to hear me talk shit or whatever. But I will answer any question if I can. So, um, I hope that you guys, but I will say that I don't watch stand up. So if you ask me my opinion on stand up, I often don't answer because I don't watch stand up. Now, I did watch um, Brendan Schaub's first special, so I can comment on that. Um, I did watch Jeselnik's last special, which I thought was amazing. I mean, Jeselnik's last special was a couple years ago, so maybe he has a new one out. Maybe about 2019, 2018. Was so good, I stopped what I was doing to watch it. So I have hit my 4,000 hour mark, AJS. So now I guess my streams and videos and whatnot are monetized as well. Like, so I've picked the lowest ad um, showing. So I guess there's three sections. There's light, medium, and like the most profitable, I guess, is ads that are just constantly shown. But I don't want to do that to you guys. Vinny Vincent News, he's paying, I guess he's charging $200 for his Facebook group. I like Kimmel the best. I go Kimmel, Colbert, and Fallon. Fallon's a little hacky for me, but I'd still like to do it. Well, that's funny you say that, Kongzilla. That was my first concert. And I've talked about this before, but Springsteen at the Coliseum, amazing show. It was the first time I bought a bootleg shirt outside the arena, and literally all the print like fell off the first time I washed it. But my first metal concert, glam metal, I guess you'd say, was Long Beach Arena, 1991, June, I believe, maybe May. Hot in the Shade tour for Kiss, which was Kiss, Slaughter, and Winger. I don't recall it being that loud, though, to be honest with you. But it's also like after Motorhead shows, nothing's loud to me. Easy123, Earl, a longtime fan, originally from the DNO World years. Your line is always the longest in the park, brother. Thank you. That's a Ric Flair line in full disclosure. So, yeah, Craig Ferguson was great. I've never been on late night TV as a comic, so, there's that. That's my goal this year. Worst show you've been to? Went to Kid Rock, second day back from deployment. Thank you for your service. Got there a little late and left after about 1 hour. Was pretty bad. I would say the worst show I've ever been to in terms of the actual sound and whatnot, when I saw Enough's Enough and Great White at the Wiltern Theater. Enough's Enough was great, and Chips Enough is so funny to me, and a great songwriter and, a great instrumentalist. And then Great White came on. It was just like, wow, man, this sucks. I'm glad I didn't pay for this shit. I mean, I bought some Enough's Enough t-shirts though. But I mean, Jack Russell was brutal. Like he just looked awful. He sounded awful. The sound in the mix wasn't good. And I'll say that it was probably them because Enough's Enough sounded fine. So that was absolutely the worst sounding show. I mean, I've never really been to a poorly attended show. I'm trying to think. Um, yeah, I've never really been to a show that was like half empty. I mean, I've been to some weird shows where, like, I saw Warrant because I'm friends with Joey Allen, the guitar player. They were playing a blues bar in I think Orange County. There's a weird venue for them. And the backstage was the kitchen. Uh, and I think, wow, man, these guys were a huge band. Now they're backstage as a kitchen with no pussy because they're all like married and stuff. And then I saw my friend Brent Fitz, who now drums for Slash. They're killing it in, I think, Brazil right now, sold out show after sold out show. He was in a band Union with John Corabi, the singer from Motley Crue, after Vince, Bruce Kulick from Kiss, and the wild man on bass, Jamie the Mad Hunter Hunting. And their first gig as a band was at Pleasure's Strip Club in Pasadena. Once again, the backstage was in a kitchen. So, and now Brent is playing in front of 40,000 people with Slash. So that's kind of neat for me. Um, and, well, I don't think grunge killed metal. That's a misnomer. Um, Hold on, I'm going to get my energy drink. Hold, please. I have to pee pee. 1 minute break. Just to show you some skin. Today's energy drink, it's not a sponsor, is Monster Orange. Peter Chicken Man Brennan. No, I did not blow up the bat. I got something you could blow up, Jordan. Did you ever see Chewy perform at the Blue House? The Blue House? You mean House of Blues? Or in Las Vegas? For an old man. I mean, for an old man, I look good. I'm 55. And I'm bloated right now. And I still am jacked. I just ate too. Uh, Well, getting back to, I don't think, grunge killed. That's a good song. No, Miss Mystery by Black and Blue. Hello, Miss Mystery. Here we are, just you and me. Someday you'll set me free. And here we are, Miss Mystery. Um, I think what killed metal was metal. Grunge gets too much credit. I loved Shark Island. Although Richard Black, the singer, was kind of a dick to me, but I still love um, the Shark Island song "Bad for Each Other." Head on my shoulders seems like a crime. Why always are there for each other when we know it's not right? We're bad for each other. So sad, but it's true. When all of my good sense kicks in again. I asked the singer from Shark Island, maybe like 2017, to do my podcast, and he said, "You're not big enough." Shit. I ain't bitter though. I saw him at the Whiskey last year. They were good. Um, I think the drummer from Shark Island, Travis, his last name was Travis, if I'm not mistaken. Um, But I think what killed, like, bands like Poison, Quiet Riot, Rat, Twisted Sister, Cinderella, David Lee Roth, wasn't grunge, but it was the copycat versions of those bands. So, like, if you look at the big 3 out of the LA metal scene was Quiet Riot, Motley Crue, and Rat. And then, every fucking band was trying to sound like them, and some were good and some weren't. Then you had the second wave of like Poison, Cinderella, and Warrant, and like all the famous example of Cinderella. They had a copycat band basically called Britney Fox. We called it Diet Cinderella at the girls' school because my baby broke all the rules at the girls' school. And the ballad "Save the Week." That's a good song. Oh save, save the week. With a little love is all you need. Um, but then, you had the copycat bands getting copycat bands. So then bands were trying to sound like Britney Fox, which is trying to sound like Cinderella. And then, it just got crazy. You see it in movies like, in the mid 80s, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, and Van Damme and Seagal were the big action stars of the day. And then you had like the lower tier guys like, well, we need another karate guy. How about Jeff Speakman? And then how about, Michael Dudikoff? And then how about, um, who was the Don Wilson, and that was going on with music. Like I don't, because if you look at the glam bands, how much cocaine was in that studio? We're stars, uh, but it was just like there were bands who survived. I mean, Poison still tours. Def Leppard still tours. Bon Jovi still tours. I mean, Rat. Oh, geez, sorry about that. My bad. My bad. My bad. It's the monster kicking in. Um, Rat at one point had 2 Rats touring. So I think the good bands survived, but the bands that weren't ready for the changeover were left in the wind. I'll give you a Danger Kitty, Lee. Check out Jordan and the Lions travel vlog, the number one travel vlog. Videos much more well put together than mine. I'll tell you that much. Um, it just the scene became a parody of itself. But it happens with every musical genre. I like Enough's Enough. Enough's Enough. The funniest thing I've ever seen in concert was when the singer from The Darkness stuck some guy's cell phone up his ass and then made him film the next song on stage with that phone. Second funniest thing was when at the Viper Room, Enough's Enough. Let's just say Mr. Belding was looking a little green around the gills and needed a pick me up, and he's literally stumbling around the crowd asking people for the yayo. And Chips Enough stops the song, middle of the song, goes, "Hey, can someone get Mr. Belding some Coke? He's jonesing right now." And then he goes right back into the song. My new glasses will be in the house at some point this week. A pretty penny, I must say. But, it happens with every, band, or every genre. Look at boy bands. You had the big 2 and the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and then you had, like, the kinda like, in metal, you had the next wave of, like, Color Me Bad and, O-Town and, um, I'm not that's the genre I know the least about, but once again, they're all trying to sound like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. You are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. When we are two worlds apart, can't reach through my heart. And that's all I know. I mean, New Kids on the Block, well, they were the first, and then you had Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. Kind of like Quiet Riot, Rap, Motley Crue, Van Halen. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. And you had it with like female singers. You had, you know, uh, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Pink, and then you had copycat of those, and grunge. It's just like it's not just hair metal. Every genre, disco. You had the big disco groups, and then you had even Kiss was trying to sound disco at one point. With "I Was Made for Loving You," can't get enough. Oh, oh. Um, I think it was Leo Gunn, Richard Kish. Leo Gunn gifted 5 memberships. Um, his Billy Idol the other week was great. Billy Idol. Billy Idol still cranks out good shit. Was the great Steve Stevens. Um, no, no. I mean, I only really like Enough's hits. I don't know if I would. Thank you, Ambrose. I don't. I mean, I don't know a lot other than that. What's that one song I like? Without you, baby, it's you. Hold on, let me hold on. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, $2. Let me hear you holler. Can you sing any Tommy Morris tunes? I can't sing any Tommy Morris tunes, but I can give an impression. Let's say Peter Chicken Man Brennan walks up the lonely stairs Sunday night in the original room, and Tommy's smoking weed in the cupboard with, "Well, Peter, you gotta work on your bass, see? I mean, Mitzi told me the building likes me, and I'm the most talented person up here, okay? I used to open up T-Birds with David Lee Roth with the wet T-shirt contest, see? Yeah, I am the real Duke of Earl. I mean, I keep it real. And thank you, Tigger, for your questions on the comedy and who are the biggest hacks. People say, "Well, you didn't keep it real when you didn't say who's the hackiest person is." I don't really know. I don't talk to a lot of comics, to be honest with you. See, the caffeine's kicking in. Tommy was the controversial talent booker at the Comedy Store. Bro, that's Dean. Dean, the manager. with one of the finest hogs in West Hollywood. I mean, I don't know about that, but it is. Oh, we have a hockey question from the great Joel Lauer. For those of you not in the know, and but Joel, we'll talk. I mean, but that performance last night by Nikita Kucherov in the fucking skills competition was embarrassing. I mean, I know no one wants to be at this All Star game. It means nothing, but fuck, man, at least put out an effort. Who do I want the next? The Kings fired their coach Todd McClellan. The problem with the Kings is they need to find someone who can motivate PL Dubois. For those of you outside of me and Joel, PL Dubois signed an 8-year, $8.5 million contract with the Kings. We ain't getting rid of that contract. So, and Arthur Kaliev is scratched a lot, and that guy's going to be a great goal scorer for someone. I hope it's the Kings. I have a feeling it's not. I would like to see Berube. I think he's a harder version of McClellan, and I think players would respect him because he's won a cup. He was fought Bob Probert in his prime, so I think there's a respect level there that McClellan unfortunately clearly lost the team. And I don't know why, because I've never seen a team have a tale of two seasons. The first part of the season, Kings had the second best winning percentage in the league, scoring from all four lines. D was playing great. The goalies were playing great. Now they've had a slight dip in the goaltending, but it's not horrible. It's just they've had a dip. But you kind of knew that would happen with Talbot. I mean, that's his history. He's hot and cold. And then, big save Dave. I mean, right now he's playing the best. I mean, they got to figure it out, man, because they might not make the playoffs, which sounds crazy, because of the first half of the season. But they're kind of stuck with the cap. They really, even if they find someone to trade, I can't imagine they're going to trade PL Dubois a half season in. But we'll see. I mean, yeah, Gallant would be he's a player's coach, but he's hard. I mean, you need someone who's going to wake up. Well, Tommy did hail the storm. The building's black. I don't like working here anymore. Okay. I think James Painter is funny. He's like funny in that Andy Kaufman way. Gallant would be good. I mean, Woodcroft isn't a horrible coach, but my choices would be Berube, Gallant, Woodcroft. Hillier. I mean, listen, Hillier's not the most exciting choice, to be honest with you, but I get why they are not hiring Berube, any coach right now, because you got to pay McClellan for not just this year, but next year too. So, Berube or Gallant are not going to come cheap, and Woodcroft probably is not going to come cheap. Days with Jordan the Lion, 5 hooves. Cut the bull. How do you rate Pork Report performance? Dylan. Are you telling me Blaine and Hawkins were killed by a fucking lizard? That's not what they said. Bullshit, man. There's 2 zappers. These zappers have been following us. I had a good time on the Pork Report. I love O'Neill. I love DeWitt. I love Danish. I don't get involved in their drama. I didn't ask them once off air what happened. I got my own drama, man. I'm 55, trying to make it in a young man's game. 4 more people were passed at the Comedy Store this week, all in their 20s. So, I don't really care what the drama is between Danish and O'Neill and DeWitt. I mean, I care because I like all 3 guys, but I don't really, I gotta worry about myself for once. Well, I don't know if I'd be booked. The Peter Chicken Man Brennan, $2. Can we get an encore of your closing bit on Pork Report? Maybe at the end. Gallant sucks. Well, I don't think he sucks, AP. But I think it's always important. I do like having a player, or I do like having a coach who's a player. Jesus, man. I'm sorry. It's this carbonation in this. Um, I do think the players respect someone who's played in the league, which McClellan did not. I mean, he clearly lost the room. I mean, that even in Nashville, man, it was like, oh, this team's quitting on the coach. And it sucks, as Joel will tell you. Um, that once you've lost the room, it's over. I mean, I don't want to see them trade PLD because the contract isn't that bad given the rumors of the cap going up in the next couple years. And you got to figure Kopitar will probably retire at the end of next year. Um, so I just think, what the Kings are trading, or what the Kings traded for with PLD is that one playoff series uh, against Tampa Bay. I think when Columbus beat them and swept them, I think, and PLD was just unstoppable. And here's the problem with Pierre-Luc Dubois. Um, oh, you're right. Jim Norton is not in this. So three of the four were in their 20s, I believe, or early 30s. Maybe I misspoke. Ahmed Weinberg might be in his 30s. But the one kid they passed, I've never even heard of him before. But apparently he's big on social media. So that's the way of I don't know him. So like he might be a great guy. But the point is they're all younger than me. Maybe even Norton's younger than me. Um but I think the one PLD every team wants is that one uh that we saw in the Tampa series where he was just physically dominating. He was the fastest skater on the ice. Uh, so I hope that PLD resurfaces. I mean, I just think it's an untradeable. Who's going to trade for him? I mean, if the Canadians trade for him, it's not like they're going to give you Caulfield for him. So like I could see the Canadians maybe saying, okay, you take half, pay 4 million of his for the rest of the contract, which would be brutal to do, and we'll give you that number one draft pick. What's his name? The Russian kid, Slavansky, or I'm not trying to be funny. I just don't know his name. Um, Straight up, you know. So you got to pay that kid and the 4 million every year for 8 years for Dubai. I'd rather keep him. But this is his third coach he's had a problem with, and he's 25 years old. I mean, now he got a pass with Tortorella, uh, because everyone's like, Tortorella's not exactly known as a player's coach. We'll give him a pass on that. And I even gave him a slight pass on Rick Bowness because it's not like Bowness is known as a, pat on the back type guy either. But McClellan's genuinely well liked by his players. I mean, he doesn't have, he's not going to get on TV as a stand-up anytime soon. But you're 25 years old. This is now the third coach you've kind of had a problem with. It's on you now. So I think PLD to teams is like he'll always have teams who want him, and he'll always have teams that will think we can be the one who change him. It's like dating a girl is going to cheat on you, or a girl dates you who you've cheated on every girlfriend you've ever had, and well, I'm going to be the one to change him, or I'm going to be the one to change her. So it's just the skills on paper, he should be one of the best players in the league. But and Joel, if you're still listening, I don't think I've ever seen a player like I've watched PL Dubois this year, like specifically to go, okay, let me see if the fans are wrong. They're just riding him. And he skates in the game like it's warm-ups. Like I've never seen someone like look. I mean, I'm sure he cares because by all accounts, he's a great guy. Like he does a lot of charity work, and like my friend Dennis Bernstein, the number one beat reporter for the Kings, he always answers the questions, and he knows that people are coming for him. So I hope the new coach. I, I guess it's going to be Hillier can wake him up. I mean, it's gotta hurt him what Dowdy said in that presser, what is it, 2 weeks ago? Basically saying there's guys on this team who only play for the points, their individual points. He was probably calling out Fiala and Dubois. Um, you know, and I think I'd like to see Kaliev with a new coach. Yeah, I mean, Joel, like, and I'm sorry for those of you who, are probably a little in the lost in the sauce on the hockey talk, but me and Joel are longtime Kings fans. I've never seen a player look so disinterested, like one hand on the stick, gliding. I mean, there was a play in Nashville, and I'm sure the numbers are going to drop when we start talking about an individual play from the Kings Predator game that nobody watched, and then the stream outside of me and Joel, where uh, I think it was Forsberg. Had the puck. I think he gets around Mikey Anderson on the boards just inside the blue line. Now, I'll give PL Dubois this. He was back. He came back to back check. But then Forsberg cuts to the middle of the ice, and Dubois just skates into the corner. Because I think in Dubois' mind, oh man, we just lost 7 people analyzing this play. He thought, the defenseman will get him. And, I'm sure the defenseman thought, Dubois is going to pick him up. So, thank you, Chris Mack. Well, let's get the numbers back up to 40. No, we're going to limit the hockey talk, but Dubois is fascinating to me. No, the Kings did win. It just, even in winning, they didn't look good. So, um, it's just very interesting. Abner Goldstein. And what was the Jewish guy doing on a school in the ghetto? So I just, PL Dubois. I hope he. I mean, if you want to know what me and Joel are talking about, watch the next Kings game. I will be in attendance against the Edmonton Oilers. What is the date today? A week from tonight at the Crypto.com arena with my comedy friend Chris Neff, whose cousin Joey Ryan plays on the Oilers. It'll be interesting. Now this is the last Kings talk. The numbers are climbing again, so maybe we'll keep talking. These are the lines I would use February 10th against the Edmonton Oilers. The first line would be Kopitar, my Comedy Store buddy, Adrian Kempe, and Quentin Byfield. Second line would be Dano, Moore, and La Ferriere. Or maybe Dano, Moore, and Dubois. Because I would like to see a line of Turcotte, Kaliev, and Grundstrom. But Laferriere is playing good too, so I'd like to see Kaliev get one more shot. Kaliev one more shot. Because Kaliev to me reminds me of Brett Hull in Calgary. Like, remember Brett Hull in Calgary? He's like, okay, this guy's got the shot, but I don't know if he has much else. And then about 700 goals later in St. Louis, he figured it out. So I will see you next Saturday. Daddy, man, you're killing us with hockey talk. Sorry about that. Well, Staggy, what do you want to talk about? Super chat me what you want to talk about. I'm just kidding. But that's the beauty of my stream is that we can talk about anything. We can talk a little hockey. We can talk AEW wrestling. We can, I don't like to talk about the Dabbleverse. That's $30 and up. Dabbleverse questions. Earl, what would you do if you woke up with Vince McMahon standing over your bed? Reach for the toilet paper. Hello. I mean, oh, I'm sorry, AJS. I'm reading in reverse. How well do you think Gavin Newsom would do at the comedy club? I mean, he'd be a great booker, full of shit, telecomic after they bombed. Hey, great job. Hello, Bruce. What are you thanking me for, Bruce? Sorry, we got lost in the hockey talk. We're going to go for about another 15 minutes. Then I have to take Lois on her long walk. So let me thank the tippers for their contributions. Thank you, Easy. Well, thank you, Leo Gunn, for gifting memberships and several super chats. Thank you, Tigger747474, for your numerous super chats. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, Days with Jordan the Lion. Check out Jordan's travel log. And Peter Chicken Man Brennan coming in late, but effective. See, people from the Dabbleverse are welcome here. The dog is sleeping right now, Gavin. She does not like to be disturbed. Do you have any cards? I do have. It's funny. I was cleaning out my desk drawer, and I found my 20 Eric Lindros rookie cards. I thought, I mean, this was back when Lindros was the talk of the hockey world. I'm going to buy as many rookie cards of his as I can. And then, he had a good career, but not, I don't know what his rookie cards go for, probably $2-3, but, at the time, like, this guy's the heir apparent. So, injuries, I think, concussion problems curtailed his career. They really curtailed his brother's career, Brett Lindros, but, it's just what could have been. I mean, Eric Lindros is absolutely. Oh, Levy-verse is in 30 minutes. Yeah, I don't keep track with that who's on. I mean, I'm sure someone in the Dabbleverse is on now, but I got to go on, and I like Bob. I like all the guys, but if I waited till no one was on, I'd be streaming at 3 a.m. So I don't think the Stevens hit on Lindros was dirty. Lindros had his head down. Same thing with the Stevens hit on Paul Correa. He had his head down. Like, that's at an era where you knew guys were. I can't even say Stevens was head hunting, but I think Stevens would hunt for you and hope your head was down. Not so he could hit your head, but he knew if you were looking down at the puck, you didn't know he was about to come. So, good night, Dr. Nova. Oh, sorry. My bad. I got to stop drinking carbonated energy drinks. They really kick in at some point. So, now, of course, nowadays, with the NHL being so corporate and sanitized, I could see players looking down at the puck more because, well, no one's going to hit me in the head. Yeah, no problem, man, bros. I mean, it's like Kasperitis is hit on Lindros. Now, Kasperitis had a lot of dirty knee-to-knee and borderline low bridge hits, but that one Lindros hit was clean. So if you want to see a funny, there's 2 clips and we'll end the hockey talk here, but go on YouTube and look up Barry Beck highlights. And some fan made about a 9 to 10 minute video of Barry Beck's greatest hits and fights. And every single hit would have been a penalty today. Like, he's jumping up at guys, he's elbowing guys, and also, it's crazy, like, to see the hits that he did, and all of them, not one was penalized. And also look up Steve Webb's greatest hits. Like, Steve Webb would take these massive runs at people. Okay. $3 to $6. Well, I've got about 20 of them. And they are, I mean, Joel, everyone thought that he was gonna be like the next Gretzky, but bigger. Um, and it is funny, like, it's so hard. That's why I think hockey is the toughest to kinda analyze, the next big thing. I mean, Joel and I will remember Pavel Rosa, who was a smallish player out of the Quebec Junior League. He played with Hull. He put up like Mario Lemieux type numbers. Let me look up Pavel Rosa, and I know it's unprofessional to hold on there, but I don't have a producer here. Let's see. Let's look up what he did in junior. Okay, so and well, he played for a team in the Czech U18 league, the Czech under 18 league. 40 games played, 56 goals, 42 assists, 98 points in 40 games. Now that's in the Czech league, so probably not NHL level. He then plays for the Hull Olympics. First year, 1995-96, 61 games played, 46 goals, 70 points, 116 points. 14 goals in the playoffs in 18 games. And then the next year, his last year in juniors, 68 games. He had 63 goals, 89 assists, 152 points in 68 games. Another 18 goals in 14 games. So you think that, I mean, those are Mario Lemieux type numbers. And let's see what his final NHL totals were. He played 36 NHL games, 5 goals. That's why hockey's very hard to judge. Like, Connor Bedard, he is the real deal. But it's very hard to just some guys. Ian LaPerriere was another longtime King, New York Rangers, St. Louis Blue. He was like a 40-goal guy in juniors. I don't think he ever scored more than 12 at the NHL level. My friend, the great Bokanji Imama, I believe for the Hull. Let's look at how many goals he scored his last year in junior. I think he had 41 goals. Let's look that up. Let's see. I can do me. Excuse me. His last year for the St. John's Sea Dogs, 66 games played, 41 goals. His NHL totals in terms of number of goals, 9 games played in the NHL, 1 goal. So, but based on his last year in junior, you think this guy's going to be a great power forward. I mean, he had more goals his final year in juniors than Nico Hischier, who was, I think, a number 1 pick. So, it's tough. So that, getting back to Artur Skaliev, he had, I think, 2 50-goal seasons in juniors. This year, he has 6 goals and a frequent squatch. So we got about 5 more minutes left. I mean, Thomas Hickey, 4th overall and a career minor leaguer. I mean, it's crazy to sit back and analyze some of these high draft picks. I mean, I remember when the LA Kings, now the number should really drop with this, when we had the 9th and 10th overall picks in the mid 80s. And we drafted Dan Gratton, who was this big center out of the OHL, and Craig Duncanson, who I thought was going to be the next Cam Neely. And let's see what Dan Gratton's final totals were. I mean, people thought this guy, Drafted 10th overall in the 1985 draft. His NHL totals 7 games, 1 goal. And this guy was going to be the next great center. Craig Duncanson, drafted 9th overall in that draft. NHL career 38 games played total, 5 goals and 4 assists. All right, enough hockey talk. 5 more minutes left before I got to go walk the baby. Can you get Dana White a showcase at the store? I mean, well, I can get Dana White a showcase at the store based on his last name, see? I like it, White, see? And if he's bald, even better. Well, I mean, at that last year by Pavel Rosa, 160 points. I mean, that's getting to Lemieux type numbers. Uh, but then you have Mario Lemieux, who 260 points. Like that's insane. And clearly, at the NHL level, was just as good. And the scary thing about Mario Lemieux is the first couple years he was playing, man, his line mates were like Gary Rissling and Warren Young. Like Wayne Gretzky always had great line mates. I mean, when they broke into the NHL, you had Curry, Anderson, uh, later on, I think Kent Nielsen and Messier and Mike Krushelnyski and Lemieux had nothing, man. I mean, Lemieux turned guys like Rob Brown and Warren Young into 40 goal scorers. So I would have loved to have seen Mario Lemieux play for the Edmonton Oilers. Like if you switch out, put Gretzky in Pittsburgh, and Gretzky still would have been a great player, no doubt about it. But it's scary to see some of those early Penguin games when Lemieux had, of course, later when they got Yager and Kevin Stevens, and it got better, and Paul Coffey, and but man, those first early years in Pittsburgh were pretty brutal. Yeah, you had Semenko, who was probably behind Kosar and Probert in terms of tough guys, but one of the great enforcers of all time. You had McSorley as backup, then you had Kevin McClellan, Dave Lumley could go, Lee Fogelin could go, Steve Smith could go. So incredible amount of protection. And even when he came to the Kings, I mean, that might be one of the toughest teams in the NHL history, where you had when when Gretzky first came to the Kings. And to show you how important fighting was, literally Gretzky said, "I'm not coming without McSorley." And I wouldn't be surprised if he asked for Semenko. Uh, but on the Kings team that first year in LA, you had um, Marty McSorley, Jay Wells, Dean Kennedy, Ken Baumgartner, Jay Miller, and I think Larry Playfair was on wing. I mean, Larry Playfair hadn't played on wing since Pee Wee. And then the Edmonton Oilers, it's like an arms race. They went out and traded for Dave Brown, and Bookberger was in the mix. McClellan, it was an awesome time. I remember I was more excited that the Kings got Jay Miller than when we got Gretzky. So, all right, that concludes hockey talk. I would do a hockey stream, but I'd like to have more than 7 people in the chat. So, fire off any last minute questions before Earl must walk the streets of Los Angeles with his baby girl, Lois. And we'll do this. Remember, the flagship Earl Skakel stream is Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Peter Chicken Man Brennan, are you Whitney's baby's daddy, man? I am not. If I was Whitney's daddy, I'd be getting better spots around town. I'd come in Whitney for better spots. Does LA have a poop app location? No, I just know where they are. San Francisco should have a poop app for the human feces. That city stinks. Dale Hunter. Dale Hunter was a great player, Kongzilla. Could work both ends. Could make a great play and then spear you in the balls the next play. Some of my favorite games, if you ever wanna look up the, Friday Night Massacre, with the Quebec Nordiques and Montreal Canadiens, where you had brothers fighting. You had Dave Hunter going after his brother Dale Hunter. I mean, it was wildness back then. Um, I mean, Hunter looked like Kurt Russell, back in the Dizzy. So, hey, listen, if anyone's local in the Los Angeles area, please come to the Comedy Store tonight. I will be closing out the main room in style. Um, have a good time. Any update on your hockey movie Black Ice? It's probably not happening. I mean, Peter Chicken Man Brennan, why don't you unmask yourself and help me with it? The Primo brothers, what was it? Keith and the guy who played on the Buffalo Sabres. Keith Primo and I'm drawing a blank. Wayne Primo, yes. Uh, I think Keith Primo was a tough guy. I mean, I think he beat the shit out of Chris McAllister once in a Flyers practice, which is quite impressive because Chris McAllister was a big boy. Um, so we're gonna end the stream now. We've got 31, 34 now in chat and 31 likes. So thank you guys for the stream today. Thank you for all my tippers. You know who you are. And thank you, Joel, for We're Talk Hockey Talk. Um, and you guys are the Earl Army. You guys are warriors. And I'm a comedy soldier fighting on the front lines of Los Angeles bullshit. And you people can be generals in the Earl Army. I will see you next week, Joel. Uh, Come on in. I will be at Hackverse in Vegas. So there's that to look at. I'm going into the jungle of the Dabbleverse because I like doing stand up and I will perform with all the characters. I will not partake in any of the shit talking or whatnot, but I will do stand up. And don't forget tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, the flagship. See how I pop my P's there? Flagship uh, stream of the Earlverse, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Last week, we set all kinds of listening records, 70 people in chat, 100 plus likes, cracking the algorithm every stream at a time. Yes, the Weed Church, Temple 420. I was doing stand up at Temple 420. Yes, Manny, I love hockey. I'm a native Los Angeles man. I saw the Ranger games on cable. The Ranger games were on TV more than the King games were, so that's why I was obsessed with Barry Beck. And then once the Kings got on TV a little bit more, I was like, yeah, I should follow the local team. The Triple Crown line of Taylor, Simmer, and Dion. J.P. Kelly, Larry Playfair, Larry Murphy, Anders Hawkinson. A who's who. And the next Saturday night, I will be at the Kings Edmonton Oilers game. Kings were on prime ticket. At one point, I think they were, for you old school LA fans, on TV, if you remember, on TV. Prime ticket, Bally Sports. I mean, the Kings have Channel 9 back in the day, Channel 13, Bob Miller, Nick Nixon, Bob Miller, Rich Marotta. I mean, it was the golden era. The Kings had some good teams in the '80s, but unfortunately, that was also at the time that the Showtime Lakers were just winning title after title after title. And, I mean, I think my first King game I watched was on TV, which was like a movie subscription network. Um, and then I think slowly they got I mean, well, obviously, when Gretzky came, they were, you know, every game was on TV. How come you don't give the McKinsey brothers credit for your glasses? Come on, man. Oh, wait, we're getting some, last minute super chats. Uh Manny Mielo, Canadian $20 treats for Lois. That deserves a Lois appearance. Hold on. Come here, Lois. What up? What up? Lois, speaking to the mic. Ruff, ruff. This is the greatest dog ever. Look at that face. She knows where the camera is. Lois, say hello to the fans. Who fans? And the baby. This is the baby dog. This is my baby girl. The greatest doctor, the greatest dog. Look at that little Billy Idol tooth. Hold on. Yes. We woke her up, but because Manny donated 20 hooves, Lois, this is for the money, honey. Thank you, Manny. Okay, she got to go back. She was sleeping. I feel bad. Ugh. Oh man, I'm sorry. It's this carbonated energy drink. It's really fucking ripping my insides. That was the great Lois. She's coughing a little bit right now, but that's all right. Thank you, Manny, very much. Thank you guys for all the tipping you've done today. Um, as you know, I don't panhandle for money on this stream. I appreciate all tippers. Um, I am building up a nice war chest that will go back into the show. All super chat money, memberships, and it's pretty hard to make money on ads on your videos. Like I think I've made since I hit the 4,000 hours, I think I've made 59 cents on my video ads, and literally 7 cents on my shorts. So I think that unless I had a video go viral. I mean, someone told me to make $1,000, you have to get 1,000,000 views. And I definitely don't have that. Um, so yes, they are. I mean, in California, you're taxed on your taxes. Um, 300 milligrams is a bit much for me. I don't know if I would have the, for lack of a better word, the balls to slurp down 300 milligrams. But you know, who knows? Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I used to drink Jolt Cola. I mean, that was the OG energy drink. It was basically Coca Cola with probably 200 plus milligrams of caffeine. But back when I was younger, I mean, that was like liquid cocaine for me. What numbers are you talking about, Chris Mack? Um, oh, you're talking about Joel Cola. Yeah, I mean, I want to say because that was their big thing. It was like we have four. I mean, I remember. I think even on the can it said either 3 or 4 times a caffeine of coffee. Yeah, oh, you're talking about the video, uh, ads. Yeah, I mean, I think the best selling, or not the best selling, but the best viewed video I have on here is my throw up scene in Bench Warmers, which I guess today would be a short. I think it has a shade over 100,000 views. So that would literally $100, on 100,000 views. So, but I'm not. Luckily for me, I'm not streaming to make money per se. But it is nice to do. What are we, a 2 hour and 10-minute chat, and get paid a few bucks to do it. I'm cool with that. And if you've noticed, I've read a fair amount of the questions that aren't super chats. I try and make everyone free feel included. There's plenty of ways to help a comic in this day and age of streaming for free. Just watching helps the algorithm. Sharing, obviously, whatnot. Hitting the like button or whatever. I don't know what hitting the heart thing does, but I'm assuming it helps the algorithm in some capacity. Yes, I will be getting a new iMac with the funds of the super chats. I think the mic sounds pretty good. So that I don't need to buy a new mic, and I'll probably slap a 4K mobile camera on top of the new iMac. So, to make viewing, the optical viewing of this stream good. And then at some point, I will be moving my stream upstairs, which is in the second bedroom. We'll have a nice wall as a background with, maybe one more neon sign in the house. Um, Daddy Man, maybe over here with maybe my picture of Jack Lambert. You can't see it right now, but it's a nice picture. Uh, I don't do StreamYards. I mean, this is just a straight up YouTube stream. I guess on when I do the rare inappropriate Earl, I do Zoom, which seems to work out pretty well. Um, well, it's not soundproofing, but all my hockey jerseys, I have a large hockey jersey uh, collection, which I'm selling, but um, the room upstairs is carpeted, and the jerseys actually act as a soundproofing uh, device. Avant-garde. Uh, well, I mean, I used to do this, Manny. You might be new to the stream, and if you are, welcome. Uh, I used to do just right off the iMac mic, which is good, but it's not great. This is a lot better. Um, so I'm just trying to. Well, I'm in the process of selling the whole collection, Joel. It's a pain in the ass to do it. I'd rather sell it to an auction house and they do what they do with it. But until then, I will sell it on my own, which is definitely more profitable. But it's a pain in the ass. Like I just sold 10 jerseys, which, oh my god! But I have to, box them up, make sure it gets to where it's going, and Lisa Lampanelli, funniest female comic. I disagree with that. Do you feel male comics are funnier than female comics? I mean, not really. I mean, there's a lot of unfunny male comics. Trust me on that one. And there's a lot of unfunny female comics. And although there's certainly a lot of female comics, there's certainly more than there ever has been. I think an unfunny female comic stands out more because there's fewer females doing comedy. Like it's like black hockey players. If you're not a great black hockey player, you stand out more because there's not many black hockey players. Although there's certainly more than there have ever been. You get the idea. Um, oh yeah, I'm very happy with the sound. So thank you to Tracy Carnazzo for helping me pick out the right wire. No, it won't. So I'm trying to make this show as good as I can. And do you still have the Sean Avery shirt when he fought Forsberg in Vegas? No, I sold it for I think $600. It was a preseason shirt, and preseason shirts don't sell that well, but because it's Sean Avery, it did sell well. So, all right, kiddies. This has been Earl Skakel. Tune in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for the Earlverse flagship stream. We've had some laughs today. I appreciate you listening, liking, hearts, commenting, um, super chats, and whatnot. Uh, yeah, no, I'm gonna experiment, Chris. We'll see. Um, I know that my uh, Wi-Fi is hokey at best, but right now it's good because I use my phone's 5G hotspot, and that seems to be the best avenue for me. So we'll see. I'll get the camera. If it doesn't work, I'll just stream like I am now, and we'll take it from there. So I will see you guys tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Have a happy Saturday night, and thank you for everything. Let me give you, well, you know where to find me at Earl Skakel everywhere. Thank you, Chris. At Earl Skakel everywhere, all social media. And, if you want to, there's ways to help a comic out that don't involve super chats or memberships or, whatnot. You know, if you tweet or Instagram the comedy store or any comedy club you want to see me at, hey, where's Earl Skakel? Blah, blah, blah. That helps as much as a super chat. Earl Skakel, over and out. See you, Grimace in Pain.